The above narration would go to show that the contender denied the allegations and referred to complaint made by him against the officer addressed to the district magistrate and also to settlement officer consultation, and also reiterated his allegations against the officer of indulging in corruption, even in the counter affidavit filed along with application dated 5/11/2007, sworn by contender himself. He has reiterated his allegations and erroneously stated that the inquiry officer suspended the officer finding her guilty of corrupt practices. Para 4 of the counter affidavit filed along with application dated 5/11/2006 is excerpted below. That the first inquiry against the applicant has been made by the ADM within bracket administration Muzaffarnagar, and the inquiry officer suspended her. YD order dated 18/7/2008. It would thus crystallize that the contender throughout the contempt proceeding took inconsistent stand and blew hot and cold in the same breath. On one hand, he contested the allegations to the police and propped up the allegations by filing various documents, and at one stage demanded cross-examine the officer. And on the other hand, he tendered the apology as a last resort in the event of this court finding him guilty of having committed contempt of court. There could not be both justification and apology. The dignity and authority of the court has to be respected by all concerned, failing which the very constitutional scheme and public faith in the judiciary would run the risk of being eroded. Since the contender is an advocate, the matter requires to be considered with a little more seriousness. An advocate, we feel called to say, is not exempt from ordinary disability which the law imposes, and his position is not inviolable, and his privileges cannot extend to interfere with the administration of justice. On the other hand, he is expected to help in subserving the course of justice and not impede it in any manner. A legal practitioner has no doubt his duties towards his client, but at the same time he has equally important duty and obligation upon him to cooperate with the court in the orderly and pure administration of justice. Any departure would be constituted to be violative and neglecting his duties and obligations. A lawyer is a person educated and trained in law. The use of language has to be balanced and in fitness of things within the framework of the law of the land. He cannot and should not be reckless in use of language. There are barriers which must be known to a lawyer, and it should not be crossed. He should not overstep the limits of decency and ethics in the matter of his behavior towards the court. In Delhi Judicial Service Association versus State of Gujarat, the apex court held as under: the definition of criminal contempt is wide enough to include any act by a person which would tend to interfere with the administration of justice or which would lower the authority of court. The public have a vital stake in effective and orderly administration of justice. The court has the duty of protecting the interests of the community in due administration of justice, and so it is entrusted with the power to commit for contempt of court and not to protect the dignity of the court against insult or injury, but to protect and vindicate the right of the public so that the administration of justice is not perverted, prejudiced, obstructed or interfered with. In N.B. Sanghvi versus High Court of Punjab and Haryana, the apex court observed as under para the tendency of maligning the reputation of judicial officers by disgruntled elements who fail to secure the desired order is ever on the increase, and it is high time it is nipped in the bud. And when a member of the profession resorts to such cheap gimmicks with a view to browbeating the judge into submission, it is all the more painful when there is a deliberate attempt to scandalize which would save the confidence of the litigating public in the system. The damage caused is not only to the reputation of the concerned judge, but also to the fair name of the judiciary. It is further averred, gave his report, and in the light of report of inquiry, the district magistrate referred the matter for action to Consolidation Commissioner. In para 12, it is averred that aggrieved by the complaint, she made the reference for initiating proceeding for contempt attributing certain words which he had never uttered in court. Lastly, that is in para 18, it is averred that he is a disciplined and serious-minded advocate, and he has always been respectful to the courts, attended with averments that he is repentant in somehow or the other, or it has injured her feelings, and tender unconditional apology. It would also appear from the record that the contender subsequently filed a supplementary affidavit along with the application dated 5/3/2007, in which he prayed for affording opportunity to cross-examine the officer. He reiterated the allegations against the officer that she was indulging in corrupt practice. The contender also filed supplementary affidavit on 2/11/2006, in which he expressed that he tenders unqualified apology. In para 3 of the said affidavit, he sought permission to withdraw his earlier affidavits placed on record. This affidavit was prefaced with unqualified apology, while para 2 of the said affidavit, being relevant, the para 2 of the said affidavit is quoted below. To prop up his submission invoking compassion, the learned counsel submitted that the contender cannot be said to be addicted to using contemptuous language and making scurrilous attacks, as it is his first aberration, and therefore he should be purged and should be given a chance to expiate his aberrant behavior. Here in this case, we are faced with an unpleasant task of dealing with a case involving a lawyer under the Contempt of Courts Act. We proceed further with the case with the piece of advice that the court should not be over or hypersensitive and should not exercise this jurisdiction on any